The social worker captured us in the report that went to panel very well.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, it was quite strange reading about yourself from another person's eyes. Quite cathartic, actually, because it was nice to see that we came across as nice people, because the report was really nice.
Yeah, we read our part and we were very happy with it, weren't we?
Absolutely.
She highlighted our qualities. I think any sort of queries would have been answered within that part.
It was a very bizarre experience, sort of reading back everything that we talked about, and quite interesting reading what she felt obviously was important, and some stories that didn't make the final cut, so to speak. I just found quite fascinating working out, what is viewed from a social worker as to what's important in terms of the assessment process.
When that email dropped in our inbox, it was a Friday night, wasn't it? And it drops in and you see this thing, this report, and I think it was something like 52 pages long, and that's only one part of it. We don't see the other part. And I remember thinking, whew, here we go then. Unsurprisingly, I cried by page 2, because you're just reading it and you're thinking, how has she put all of this into these words? And I mean, a lot of it was through the homework that we'd done as well. So it's not just her words, it's our words as well. But she's captured it and summarised us perfectly.
It was really interesting reading it. And it was quite I don't know, intimate's not the right quite word, but it was sort of quite an intimate process between me and my social worker. And it was one thing reading it and having shared all that kind of stuff. And then it was the next realisation that there was this panel of people, which could be up to 14 people, who you've not met, you don't know them from Adam, who've all got different professional backgrounds. We're going to be sit there reading it all and unpicking it and making judgments on me as well.
Because I think a few times I pointed out, I'm sure I'm not like that. But it's surprising how actually other people see you. Even when you think something is negative and it's actually positive, but it's just what is going on in your head and how actually social worker sees it is totally different thing, yeah.
I think when you are putting all of your hopes and dreams across to somebody to interpret for somebody else, I think you always run that little bit of a risk that it might get lost in translation a bit. And I think, especially not knowing, because it's an independent panel, you don't know any of the individuals involved, you don't know how they're going to take some of those words. So you almost look at it when you see that first draft, as you say, drop in the email, and you think, how could other people read it? Yeah. But I think for us, the most important thing was that it was true to who we are. Yeah. And then it was just down to the panel to take that. And you know what? If they'd read it and realised that we weren't right and that they wouldn't want to approve us, then that's fine. But it was an honest depiction of who we are.
It's a bit nerve-wracking reading about yourself, really. You think, oh, does this present me in a good light? And does that, what will they think of that? But it's got to be truthful. I think as long as you feel it's truthful, if they've got something wrong, like, oh, we never said that, then obviously that we wouldn't want that in it. But as long as it's truthful, I think, and it's a true representation of the type of people you are, then I think it's fine. I mean, it's not all that they go off when deciding whether you're right parents for a child.
She was renowned for doing a very good part, that when you did go to panel, they had very few questions left to ask. And I think we had to answer about 4 questions.
Yeah.
On a practical level, I knew that you don't take people to panel if they don't think you're going to be approved.
We just went in to be honest.
Yeah,
and,
there was kind of nothing to prepare for, really, because obviously we didn't know what questions they were going to ask us. And so...
We knew we wanted a little one. We knew why. We knew what we could give him or her. And so we just went in with, this is who we are, and he's like us.
Yeah, there weren't any preparatory notes and read out part fashion, nothing like that. We just answered questions naturally.
Really quite scary that actually becoming a mum and becoming a parent was down to these people in this room reading about me and making a judgment, not knowing me or not having met me.
They are humans and they are really nice and they do make you feel at ease. I never felt like we were being judged or anything. It was just like, we're here to ask you some questions, so just answer to the best of your ability.
So I was really panicked about what kind of questions they were going to ask. Were they going to try and throw us off guard? But our social worker, like she said to us, look, they're not going to ask you any questions. I put everything in the report. I'm not missing anything. And then when it came to the panel, they just discussed us, and then they came out and said, look, we haven't got any questions for you at the moment. Congratulations, you're approved to adopt.
Until I got in there, into the panel, that was then when it felt real. Up until that point, it almost didn't feel real, that it was actually going to happen. And I think having spent time watching documentaries on television and dramas and other bits and pieces, I could see that was the bit that all other adopters are really quite fearful and worried about.
You know yourself, you know what's in that report that they've got. Any question that they're going to ask you is going to be based on that report. So you know the answer because it's about you.